Good afternoon, guys. It's typical Real Friender 16 here, back at it again with another reaction video. Today, I guess we have some good friggin' news. Apparently so. I have been waiting for this moment for years. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting to hear this. But now, it's finally coming to fruition. So, Hasan Piker, the the terrorist piece of shit of the human race, or at least in our fucking country. Um, the guy who said we claim we deserve the 9/11 just cause. Yeah, that guy, this one right here, this disgusting animal abuser, you know, who's also a very massive hypocrite, and likes to complain a lot and talk shit about anyone that doesn't fit his agenda. Crazy to imagine that, I know. But that seems to be the norm here. He was subpoenaed by the feds over a trip to Cuba. I don't know the exact context, but we're going to find out because the GOAT, Rev says Dezu, and obviously other content creators are jumping on this too, but Rev says Dezu. We're going to see we're going to see what he has to say about this. So buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Hey, what's up, guys? We're here. So this is one of those intros I've been waiting a long time to say. The feds are going after Hasan Piker. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Actions are finally having consequences, and it appears, due to his humanitarian efforts over in Cuba, the feds are investigating Hasan Piker and some.
And it makes me wonder why specifically they're targeting him, what part of the Cuba trip they're targeting him for. Because out of all the things he has done, the things he has said, especially on his live streams, he has not been apprehended by the federal government once. And for some reason, a trip to Cuba, apparently quote unquote humanitarian aid, somehow does it in. I guess it's the last straw, or the straw that broke the camel's back. Same thing really. But I guess apparently the feds felt like, I guess they were forced to do something. I don't know why it took this long to basically get him, you know, because of all the crap he said, of all the things he's done. I don't see why now they're starting to target him. Maybe he did something crazy in Cuba, I don't know, but I feel like this is like too little too goddamn late on the Fed's part, since they seem to spend more time trying to force gun control and arresting anyone and arresting, gun tubers. Isn't that funny? Than they do apprehending, and throwing the book at actual problematic people in the country.
Of his collaborators. Now, this is something that's been a long time coming. A lot of people finally thinking maybe actions have consequences for a guy who seems to get away with absolutely everything. Now, before we get into the details, let's read the headline here because it is chef's kiss. Federal officials have served subpoenas to Marxist political influencer Hasan Piker and Code Pink co-founder Susan Medea Benjamin as a part of a wider investigation into whether U.S. organizations and leaders violated U.S. laws and sanctions in supporting Cuba's communist regime. That's right, I remember a time in history where supporting brutal communist regimes would have consequences.
Yeah.
And it appears that might actually be happening this time, and the
I think though that kind of seems like a slippery slope, at least the way I see it. Not that much, but slightly a little bit, because of, I guess, you know, it's really an ideology. But then again, you know what? We don't like we. It's not that we don't like Cuba. We just don't like the government. We don't like communists. You know, I'm not saying the U.S. government is better by any means. They seem to be far more tyrannical than before. But like, yeah, we don't like communists. We don't. There's a reason. And this Hasan Piker made a big mistake. You know, I mean, he really did us a favor by just having himself by, you know, giving the federal government, an incentive to come after him. You know what I mean. I'm just making light of this, making a little humor because it is pretty funny how out of all the things that he did and said, this is what they get him for, which is justifiable, but the fact that they waited until he did something like that to get him, wow, just wow. It's crazy, but hopefully he gets at the minimum life in federal prison with no parole whatsoever. Hopefully God throws the book at him because this guy should never get out. He should not be within society. He's too dangerous. Way too dangerous. Well, I wouldn't argue he's dangerous, but his mouth and his followers certainly are. They're unstable. But hey, hopefully he gets. Here's hoping with God that he gets life in federal prison with no parole and a very and impossible to pay bond or no bond at all. Throw the book at him as much as throw the biggest book you can at him.
The photo they use for this, again, hilarious.
In fact, I would imagine that they would probably considering they subpoenaed him, they'll probably bring up every little thing that he's ever done and said. You know, there's a possibility that they'll bring up the animal abuse or his cruelty towards his own dog. There's a lot of things they'll probably end up bringing up. I don't know though. I'm not a lawyer and I'm definitely not a judge, so I don't know. Hopefully they take every little thing that he did and said and they throw it right back at him, right at him. Make a big book out of it and throw it right at him. That life sentence with parole with no parole would be beautiful for this guy.
Yes. It is Hasan with this death stare of Kaya, trying to order her in, literally sending her to her place. Now, of course, I have some insider info here. Here is the identity of the anonymous caller who tipped off the federal agents about what Hasan Piker has been doing. Let's thank this very brave individual for having the courage to report this to the authorities. But you can see the initial reaction from people.
Yeah, Tectone, I wouldn't expect anything less. That really is funny. Honestly, if I didn't have so much going on in my life, I would be cackling like Megatron. Well, actually, I'd be cackling, chuckling, whatever, like I'm Optimus Prime. But I prefer cackling like Megatron. Cause look, when Megatron laughs, it is funny because it's so genuine. It's like straight from the soul. Especially that episode where Ratchet decided to use steroids that he basically created. He basically made a steroid and injected himself with it, and I forgot if he was like handing knockout his ass, but handing knockout's ass to him. Um, but like he injected himself with steroids, and it was either Starscream or Knockout. I think it was Knockout who tried to tell Megatron that some was crazy that Ratchet was became diabolical. He basically became a bully, and Megatron took one good look at Ratchet and just cackled. He laughed his ass off. It was right from the soul. And then the best part about it is right after he laughed and said something along the lines of the medic he Ratchet gave him a hook and it was so fun. It was just so funny, man. This would have been a Megatron moment for me. I would have been cackling like Megatron. Shoot. Tectone, he was cackling like a superhero. You know, it's too bad I don't have any whiskey to celebrate this moment. Not that I like the taste of alcohol anyway. It tastes terrible. Even flavoring does nothing for it.
People like Tectone laughing. You have this post saying, if Hasan goes to jail, Kaya will be free from his shocking abuses. What was he thinking?
And not just that, the deranged left are going to lose a very valuable asset. You know, very valuable asset. Very, very valuable. Well, I mean, he pretty much already burned almost all of his bridges. So I don't really think it'd be too much lost. But hey, he does seem like a valuable asset that it would be a shame for them to lose.
Who thought it was a good idea to go on a warm PR campaign for a regime hostile to the United States? Father, Asmongold asked me for a favor. LOL. TikTok, Hasan.
Yep.
Arrest and deport Hasan Piker, and I will vote for whoever Trump wants me to.
You know what? I hate to even say this because I'm not a voter. I don't vote, and I have my reasons why, but you know what? I have been thinking about, since I live in Connecticut, I have been thinking about voting for um a Republican, what is it? That Republican um governor, the guy who is running for governor. I don't think I can though, because he was something happened. So hey, but yeah, I think I would vote. I think I would vote Republican if he does if he is deported. No, he needs to be put in federal prison. If he's put in federal prison for life without parole, uh, and never able to get out, I will literally vote for a Republican. I will vote Republican once for once. I will actually vote because usually I don't vote. I don't trust any politician, not even any presidents. I don't, especially with the war on Iran. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But I will literally vote for a Republican if he's thrown in federal prison for life with no parole and no bond.
Vote for until the day I die. Rip Bozo. F these authoritarian fascist dictators.
Silence. Yep. If only we could put a shock collar on him, that would be fun. But then again, human rights are a thing, so.
Silence. Lock him up and throw away the key.
Don't just throw it away, melt the key. So he can't so no one can release it. So no one can get it. Melt the key. Throw it in the volcano. Matter of fact, put it in the nearest industrial furnace. Melt the key. Literally melt the key.
Trump, deport Hasan Piker, and my life is yours.
Okay, well, let's not glaze the president. Let's not, idolize the president. I think, people do that way too often, but still, that would be that would be a defining moment. That would be a victory. That would be a victory for our country.
You can see there is a lot of jubilation among people hearing this news, and of course, we know this all comes from his very open and public humanitarian efforts in
Humanitarian efforts, huh? Yeah, right. This dude only ever cared about himself, and he still cares about himself. I mean, he never helped Frogan. He never did too much of anything. The dude even goes as far as to show the amount of money he has. Like how rappers be doing with those stacks of money they have, dollar bills they have. That's what he does, dude. This dude it comes from money. Am I mad about it? No. But the fact that he acts like he's doing something to help benefit benefit people is hilarious. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, you can't sit here and act like you actually helping people when you're clearly not. This dude is like a politician. He's only, presenting himself. He's only advertising himself as helping people, you know. He's only advertising himself as this generous guy who goes around helping people. Bonus points if he's helped for out of poverty, you know. And when in reality, the dude is a cold terrorist apologist and a terrorist on his own, and really doesn't care about anybody. I mean, this dude literally shits on Asians when questioned about his support for Asians, his lack of support for Asians or whatever. He's racist towards anybody that doesn't fit his narrative. Seriously. Like, the dude is not a humanitarian. He is not at all. Nope. 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 He is a straight up wannabe dictator. Like, I don't understand how this guy even has a following, but then again, a lot of terrible people, evil people, tend to have a following. I mean, Adolf Hitler had a following, so it makes a lot of sense. Birds of the flock fly together.
Cuba, where he, alongside the co founder of Code Pink, were making very public appearances, making it known how much they were saving everyone with their 5-star luxury hotel stays where
Oh, I remember that, yeah. And when he was criticized about that, I think he started talking crap about either Pakistan or Cuba. I forgot which one. But yeah, he was starting to talk crap about people. Like, anytime this dude is criticized, he will be as racist as he possibly can to anyone who criticizes him. And that's why I don't get why this guy has any sort of following. But then again, his followers are basically abuse victims. Not in the physical sense, obviously. I mean, if Hasan would, if he could get away with it, he absolutely would. But no, more in the verbal and emotional sense. Either that or his followers are just downright ignorant. I mean, at worst, they're pretty much copies of him.
they, of course, had power, but 99% of the island was without power, and hospitals included, which resulted in people dying. But don't worry, Hasan Piker still had power during this time. So
Oh wow, that is evil. Wasn't it because of that hurricane or something? Wow, that's I remember hearing about something like that. That's evil. Yeah, hey guys, I have power, but wait, we don't. Wait, what about us? Ah, don't worry, you'll be fine. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the situation. Wow, this dude would be a wonderful actor for a cartel leader because cartels do this exact thing. They pretend to be these humanitarians, these brave, noble, benevolent souls, only to start murdering and massacring and raping people at every chance they could get, every chance they get. On top of selling them if they can make a profit off of them, or God no, and even worse than that. Yeah, this is why you don't trust people. This is why you don't trust these folks. You know, and not his. I'm not talking about his race. I'm talking about people like him. You don't trust people like him. This is your grade A politician right here. You know, the guy who, the dude who comes from money and wants everybody else to be slaves secretly while he rakes in the dough and you know accomplishes all these wonderful things that only have to do with him. You know, Yeah, it's so funny. It is really funny, man. This shit is funny. It's so wonderful how you can be this smug, and the minute you get caught by the feds, you know you're cooked. You know you're cooked. And this guy will probably try to make some ridiculous argument, or whatever lawyer he has will probably try to do that.
So that's good news. But let's get some of the details here. So, Fed subpoena Hasan Piker, Medea Benjamin over Cuba trips. Investigation part of a broader dragnet involving as many as 40 American citizens.
You know what? I think the feds have been investigating him for years. Because normally, when you do something that the feds see as a red flag, they'll probably investigate you for. They'll usually investigate you for years. They'll keep an eye on you. They'll keep a close eye on you. Now, I wouldn't really know that because I don't think I've ever been investigated by. I have never been investigated by the feds because I've never done anything that would put me on their radar. I probably have a file. They probably have a file of me doing whatever it is I normally do, which is nothing that would raise alarm bells to them, unless they're feeling really petty or something. But, you know, usually when you do something that would get anyone's attention or that would raise a lot of eyebrows, they'll probably be on you. They were probably just waiting for something to get him. But then again, the feds, it just seems like they were doing nothing. I don't even know if I should give whether I should give the feds credit or hit them with the frying pan, because this is like, I don't know. It took that long for them to do something. I mean, a lot of the things he said were outright devious. I mean, he pretty much made his intentions clear, and there's also the fact that he tried to tell people to, well, specifically, well, terrorists anyway, to make explosive devices to harm innocent people with. You do know that's terrorism, right? Especially domestic terrorism. And yet he's never he I believe even told people to go look up instructions on how to do that stuff. And mind you, the feds never did anything about it. Now, if your average American did something like that or said any of those things, that your average American would be in federal prison for as long as possible, as long as the federal government could legally keep them there for that. But this guy, nope, he gets a pass. I think we all know why, but hey, there's a ton of reasons why. We all know what they are, but hey, you know.
Who joined Marxist convoy to Havana. First on Fox, federal officials have served subpoenas to Marxist.
Now, additionally, sorry to keep pausing this and yapping or talking you to death, but what's even funnier about this? What's even more juicy about this, or comical about this, is that you don't see any of the left leaning media outlets reporting on this now, or at least being completely honest and transparent about this stuff, reporting this stuff accurately. No, they either been radio silent, or any articles they made about this have been sugar coated to make Hasan appear to be the victim. It's outrageous.
Political influencer Hasan Piker and Code Pink co-founder Susan Medea Benjamin. Piker and Benjamin are among those caught in a federal inquiry into whether activists who traveled to Cuba in March violated U.S. sanctions through the financing, coordination, or delivery of goods to Cuba, including potential contacts with the Cuban government personnel or entities on the island. The administrative subpoenas were sent to the pair.
What I want to know is what kind of goods we're talking here, cuz I don't think any of the goods he sent he had to have imported to Cuba were crates full of blueberries or apples or pies. They had to be something I mean, maybe they are crates of food or just general stuff, but like, you know, still, I wonder what was in those, what goods they were sending over.
by the Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control. The administrative subpoenas called Requests for Information, or RFI, seek financial, logistical, and communications information revolving around trips the two widely bragged about making to the island nation in March with delegations of the Nuestra America Convoy, or Our America Convoy, from a global network of communist sympathizers, activists, and influencers who brought supplies to the country's ruling Communist Party of Cuba, according to sources familiar with the matter. That's the crazy part here, is that this sounds ridiculous, but it's not an exaggeration whatsoever.
Oh yeah, trust me, yeah. A lot of things sound ridiculous, but they are just as ridiculous as they sound. In this case, yeah, this stuff apparently is, I guess, is true. I'm assuming it's true because Hasan, he has pretty much presented himself to be, he's pretty much proven that he's a communist supporter and he's a terrorist on top of it. He just hasn't acted yet, you know? Well, kind of. Mostly, not yet. I mean, he did participate in the Los Angeles riots. I forgot what those were over, but like he did participate in them. Them Los Angeles riots that the left wing media kept trying to paint as like peaceful protests, just like with the Black Lives Matter protest. Good lord, you can't paint what's clearly rioting, what's clearly a riot, as peaceful protesting. It's so disingenuous. It's so disingenuous and bad, and it's filled with bad faith, man. It's such a lie. It's good lord, man.
This is literally what happened. Okay, this is literally an accurate description of what these people are doing on their humanitarian efforts, going to the Cuban Communist Party and handing them over supplies and making contact with them. That sounds like the very accurate way to describe this situation. But this investigation is, of course, a part of a broader effort by officials at the Treasury, State, and Justice Departments to curb malign foreign influence operations inside the United States, particularly activities tied to support for political violence, extreme.
Okay, so he is being investigated for terrorism. It took this long to do that, but then again, yeah, it's gonna take that long, I guess. It does take a little bit of time to get some shit on somebody, but I don't know. I just find it so odd that with all the time they had, they spent doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and you know, completely just completely ignored what was going on. What the real issues here? Like they spent. What were they doing the whole goddamn time that it took this long to finally get him for terrorism? Like you know, they now get him for terrorism. It took that long. Maybe I'm just that old. I'm only 23 years old, but like maybe I just got that old. I don't know, man. This is so odd. I just feel like they took a way longer than they should have to investigate what the dude pretty much already presented. Like the dude was walking evidence pile. I mean, he pretty much promoted terrorism. He encouraged it. He's a terrorism apologist. You know, what more could you ask for? And he backs communists. Like, dude. Oh, and he participated in the L.A. riots a year or so ago, or some time ago. Forgot what year that. I forgot when that was, when they were, but like they were. It was a whole mess, you know. So I don't understand why it took them this long to book him or to summon him. Like it should not have taken this long. I mean, if anything, his door should have been kicked off the hinges. He should have been held at gunpoint, you know, by the FBI and the friggin' ATF. Even though I don't like the ATF because they're tyrants that are known for murdering innocent folks. You don't believe me? Do a little research on the Ruby Bridge incident. There was this ATF agent that was bragging about it. It's like, dude, something's seriously wrong with you. In my honest opinion, he should be in prison for the rest of his life. That ATF agent, he knows exactly who he is. He's been in interviews before, and in those interviews, he kept refusing to ask questions that he knew the answers to, and acting like, and acting like his, I guess, he acted like asking, like the questions that he was being asked were bad. You know, pretty much he was acting like he did not want to share the truth because he knew what his intentions were, and he knew that he was just there to murder people in cold blood over a sawed-off shotgun, mind you. Yeah, a sawed-off shotgun. A man having a sawed-off shotgun, not doing anything wrong with it, not doing anything illegal with it, just having it, caused a family that was, you know, what do they call it? Like when you're like, not all the way from civilization, but like, you're living, you know, a little secluded, like you're somewhere, I guess, where you don't have to worry about people just attacking you out of the blue for the most part. I forgot what it was called, what that was called, but it's not. I guess maybe it's kind of like off the grid. I guess something like that. Um, something like that. But yeah, they you know they waited uh for the target, I guess, and there were snipers. They were just sitting with ghillie suits. They shot and murdered a dog. One of them did. I get one of them did, and a kid who had a rifle, which wasn't illegal, which isn't illegal, mind you, because I think the kid, if I'm not mistaken, I think the father takes his son hunting, takes his son hunting. Um, he has said he did not take kindly to that, and I don't think anyone in the right mind would be very happy or composed with any government agent murdering an innocent animal, especially their pet, and he shot him and killed him, in response, which is absolutely justified. That's self defense. Well, really, it's kind of self defense of another person. Protection of it's The term is different depending on what state you're in. Some states have it the same, some states have a different way of saying it. But yeah, and they murdered him. Uh one of them shot him in the back. Yeah, and killed him. It was horrible. And then the guy's wife comes out with the baby, holding a baby, and they get murdered too. Yeah. That was not a case of the gloves coming off. That was just straight up murder. Unnecessary killings of innocent folks. It was murder. And they didn't even get charged for it. It was so horrible. So awful, man. I wasn't born when that happened. I was born in 2002. But just reading about it, just hearing about it, watching content creators talk about it, like Guns and Gadgets, it's so disgusting how people who work in the government could get away with that crap, they should be executed by a firing squad for that. Or they should have. You know, but for some reason they were never held accountable for it. It's so wild. And then you have the guy who was part of it bragging about it and refusing to be transparent about it and feeling offended by being asked, questions that he should be answering. Because people have the right to know what really went on and why he did what he did. And why he and the rest of the others did what they did. It was so awful. It was sick. You know? And people like to blame guns for everything. No, no, no. Those men should not have had firearms. They should not have been given rifles, any kind of firearms, and they should not have been given any sort of job within the government. They should not have been given those jobs. They shouldn't even be given those rifles because those men who did that operation, they are evil. They are evil. And if I'm not mistaken, that operation was illegal anyway. It was just evil. I think it was illegal. I'm not sure, though. It was awful. Oh, shoot. See, there I go again. I just have a lot of stuff that I think about, and it blows my mind that people can be so evil and get away with that stuff. But it is what it is.
Extremist movements or acts the U.S. government classifies as terrorism. The scrutiny reflects growing concern among federal authorities and lawmakers over whether foreign actors and aligned organizations are attempting to shape American political discourse, mobilize activists, sow discord, and normalize rhetoric that could encourage violence or undermine U.S. national security interests. And you are including Hasan in that description? Color me shocked. No.
Wow. And you mean to tell me that we now start caring about we now start caring about, people, foreign individuals trying to set up operations in our country that could jeopardize us and our way of life? Now we're concerned about this? Oh, wow. It's almost like someone realized something. It's almost like our government realized something. But we know they're not doing this out of genuine concern. They're doing this for their own benefit like they always do. Things are never a problem until the government deems they are. And then we're back to square one. Good Lord, man. And they wonder why things like Killdozer happen. When you push someone over the edge, what do you think's gonna happen? Too many innocent people are being attacked, and folks like Hasan Piker are enabling these attacks and garbage, and people like him get away with it scot-free, and now it's suddenly a problem to the government? Jeez. It seems like a case of, you've outlived your usefulness. Wow, man.
Pun intended. But that is the gist of what's going on here. And I think for someone like Hasan, who's always wanted a government that would have an extreme amount of control over people he doesn't like, it's funny it's now being clamped down onto him. And you can see the memes are rolling in. I don't even have to play this clip. I think you guys know everything with the Homelander set of...
Come on, I want to see it, man.
phrases during the final episode of The Boys here. But that's...
Oh, okay. Never mind then, yeah. Because I heard, what was it, like the final season or the season finale, something like that, was terrible. Yeah, never mind then. It seems like we just can't have good shows anymore because there's always something that ruins them.
Hasan after being sentenced to a life in Gitmo. Yeah, I don't think he'll do very, very good in Guantanamo, so let's keep him out of there. But
ooh, sentenced to life. Ooh,
what does Hasan do in the face of this very serious situation
What does he do? Oh, yep, the feds are after me. Free your man. No, don't free this man. If you don't free this man. If you want this man free, you are a psychopath. Something is seriously wrong with you, and you need help. Maybe you're beyond help. I don't know, but no, no, no. Terrorism is not acceptable in our country. No, not here. No, nope. You want to do all the free your man movements? You can do them somewhere else. Not on U.S. soil. Nope. He is going to get the consequences of his life from God Himself. He's getting punished. This is a work of art, man. This is a work of art. Justice delivered from the Lord Himself. And I love it. Because this man had it coming. And now I think if he gets sentenced to life, we can all rest in peace. We can all rest. Sleep in peace. Sleep sleep like Patrick Starr, knowing that this dude can no longer cause any more trouble and hurt any more people.
Oh, he just trusts his instincts and starts thirst trapping. That's right, he made this Instagram story saying, "The feds are after me. Free your man," and posted himself in a bathtub because that's really all his brain knows to do.
I would like to make a request with the FBI. Strap this man down and fill some bags with poison ivy, poison sumac, and poison oak plants, as many as can fit in the bag, as many as the bags are able to handle, the big black garbage bags. You know, the big industrial or janitor garbage bags. Yeah. Fill them as much as you can, until as much as the bags are able to handle, and then pour all that stuff, all of them plants, all the rust toxicodendron directly into the tub. Strap him in it. That's one of the punishments he should be receiving. Too bad our society has gone really soft.
Do at this point. Start thirst trapping his viewers and his fans because that's what's most important. Okay, I guess making sure they're going to continue simping for him. But he would also respond many times on Twitter, but here's just one of the examples
The
saying,
American government would rather try to criminalize delivering aid to a country we served or we starved than punish the Epstein class. Really? It makes us wonder if you're in the Epstein files, bud. No, don't try to play the victim here, because you absolutely deserve it. You are a terrorist apologizer, and you're also a racist. Not that that's illegal, but still. You are you are a wannabe Adolf Hitler, okay? And you will be punished for it one way or another. And hopefully you spend life in federal prison with no parole. You just sit there. You just sit there for the rest of your life in a cell where you're told what to do, when to do something, when you're told what to do, when to do it, you're told what to eat, when to sleep, when to use the bathroom. You deserve it. Now you'll be the one being told what to do. And I don't think you're gonna like it, man. Hopefully your cell is not luxurious, because you do not deserve any kind of luxury. You are a spoiled child, man-child. And you are an embarrassment to my country. And I want you punished for your crimes. And now that you're being investigated, I'm happy for it. Too bad I can't really show it, because I've already got stuff going on in my own life. You know, you know, if I could, I would cackle, I would laugh like a mad lad. Like I just created like I just created a quintuplex for Pennsylvania for the Pennsylvania Railroad. You know, but unfortunately I really can't. I could chuckle though. I could chuckle. You know, and I'm starting to smile. Oh man, it's a dream come true. God has answered.
The American government would rather try to criminalize delivering aid to a country we've starved than punish the Epstein class. Again, for a guy who is always supporting brutal regimes that
Yep, exactly. This guy seems to refuse to believe that the things he has done and said are the reason he's being investigated and possibly thrown under the jail in the first place. Sorry, dude. Lack of accountability ain't gonna work here, bud. We gon' we gon' milk the hell out of this. This would be lovely, man. Oh boy. Wow.
exert enormous amounts of control on its political enemies. Man, it really sucks when it seems like the control is coming right back on you.
It really
But you can see
does.
he's trying to deflect, and people are not buying it in the reply saying, "Screw you, communist scumbag. Enjoy watching Cuba fall. Luckily for you, it'll happen before you get through your trial." Delivering
Yes.
aid. You didn't do anything but live stream and cause a blackout for Cuban citizens. We just want to see you locked up and deported.
No, don't deport him. No. You know what? Give him the death penalty. You know what? Yeah. Give him the death penalty. Oh wait, no, but then that'll just cause more unrest. There's got to be something that can be done. Um, Either the death penalty or life in federal prison, where he gets the bare minimum, the absolute bare minimum, just to survive there. No protective custody. Everyone knows exactly what he did and what he's guilty of. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. Cause didn't he have sex with a minor before in another country? Oh, you know what? I think if I'm not mistaken, he did. So you know what? That should be there too. Yep. The inmates is gonna love him.
That's really it. Take Ashley with you. At Hasan Piker wants the people of Cuba to suffer and die just so communism does not put another failed country under its long list. Same with the people from Venezuela and Iran. Hassan would rather see millions of people who want freedom in Cuba, Venezuela, and Iran die of starvation or at the hands of their governments than admit to his rich socialist friends in California and New York that communism kills people who wants freedom. Here's a quote saying,
I would say I would say he's the real life version of Vladimir Makarov, but that's an insult to a criminal mastermind. You know, the criminal mastermind that gave us the original Modern Warfare trilogy and two Modern Warfare remasters. Of course, one of which lacks multiplayer. So much potential, Modern Warfare 2 remaster. So much potential. And Activision ruined it, as usual.
"You LARPed your way into a 50-year federal prison sentence.
Yes.
Congrats, man."
Congrats, man. A toast to consequences having actions. I mean, ooh, to actions having consequences. Good lord, I'm so happy. I just can't. You know what? Oh man, I was just so shocked. I don't know what to do.
And people just again posting meme after meme after
Yup.
meme of this situation. And now we're also seeing all of the Hassan orbiters and stands
This is gonna sound crazy. It's gonna be diabolical, but he kind of looks like more Pegasus. He kind of does. No disrespect to more Pegasus, though. That's my go-to.
try to take up for the guy. You can
Oh, they did they? Anyone who doesn't stand with Hassan as an enemy, okay. What you gonna do about it, though? What you doing about it? You about that action? You gonna do something about it though? See, this is the thing I don't understand, bro. We need more people like JD Delay. Because these folks like to talk tough from behind the computer screen, but they know they ain't it. These folks are only strong in numbers. They're like the Empire. They're like stormtroopers, bucketheads. But honestly, that's an insult to bucketheads. Because at least they're competent most of the time. They're just comical relief. They just really been made comical relief most of the time. And I kind of like that, but I feel like they should be efficient in what they do in Star Wars. But hey, what's done is done. But yeah, these are the bucket heads of the left. I swear. Those folks are the Empire. We're just missing Darth Vader and Darth Sidious. Well, actually, God's adversary would be Darth Sidious, but in terms of but in terms of a human being, uh, I don't know who would actually be Darth Sidious because there's a lot of crappy folks on the left, a lot of crappy big folks on the left. So, you know, the point is, anyone who tries to make Hasan Piker out to be the victim, you are a terrorist apologizer. You're a terrorist, and you are a liar, and you're evil. Okay, you're disgusting. You are an embarrassment to our country, and you shouldn't even be in our country. We made it clear we don't tolerate terrorism here. We don't like it. We don't want it here. So why do you folks keep trying to enable it and reintroduce it? No. Just pack your stuff and get out the goddamn country so we can live in peace. Okay? Really? You folks are wild. You folks are uncivilized, unstable, deranged lunatics that trade blood for money, power, and fear. And we can't have that. Nope, we're not making Star Wars a reality. Nope. We don't want the Empire here. Get out. See, this is what I'm talking about, folks. The, these people are just straight up evil. These are the exact same people who celebrate the murder of Charlie Kirk, mind you. These are the same people. The same evil monsters who support and celebrate the murder of Charlie Kirk. These are also the same folks that hate you if you if you if you have any family values, or if you like any video games with family values. I'm child free. I don't want children at all, ever. I don't hate children though. I love kids. I just don't want any. I don't want to adopt. I don't want any kids. My little brother's enough. However, seeing the game the pragmata gameplays, oh man, that tickles me. So goddamn adorable. In fact, there are plenty of shows, video games, and stuff that tickle me when children are introduced. Or children, take the spotlight. Star Wars Rebels is an example of that because the main character is like a whole family. You know, um, Kanan and Hera are the mother and father basically, and Zeb, Ezra, Chopper, and what's her name? There was another character. I forgot what her name was. And Sabine, are the children. you know, so adorable, man. You know, especially that episode. I forgot which one it was where the two inquisitors were sent to hunt down force sensitive children, and you know, Zeb and Zeb and the rest of the crew were trying to rescue him. and brought them back to their parents. Well, one of the children, the mother died. I think the mother died, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. But the other mother, seeing her happy and relieved that her child was brought back to her, so adorable. But yeah, again, like I said, these are the same people who hate you for, you know, wanting to start a family or something. Mind you, like I said before, like I just said, I don't want kids, okay? At all. You know, my little brother's enough for me, and I'm not able to take care of children because I'm autistic, you know? Just not able to do that. I can try to take care of my brother as the best of my ability because he's my brother. He is my responsibility. But I just don't want kids. It's just not for me. But I do commend the folks out there who do want families and start families and stuff. Because that's not at all a bad thing. Having kids is literally normal. Wanting to reproduce is absolutely normal. I don't understand why people have a problem with that. I mean, I could understand that I know there are people out there who try to push their values on other folks, folks that try to push, that try to, that are entitled to try to force or demand other people have children and shame folks who don't have children. I know that those folks exist and those people are pieces of shit. And there's also the opposite as well, where there are folks who shame you for having children or whatnot, or wanting children. It's just both sides are just outright pathetic. But, there's nothing wrong with having children. There's nothing wrong with not having any children. You know? I don't understand why it's such a big deal to people, but the fact that people were mad that, a video game, encouraged a video game basically caused people to want children is crazy. It's crazy to be mad at something like that. But then again, those people are really just mad because that means they won't have any control over those people. They want control over you. They want to control every aspect of your life, just like the government. And if they can't, they hate you. You know, they're a friggin' hive mind. You know, they they they're evil. They are straight up evil. Not all leftists are bad. Not all of them are bad. Some are good, but it's really the minority. It's really a minority because the majority left want to keep good leftists, out of sight. They want to keep them in the minority. Because if you noticed, they'll eat each other alive. And the good leftists, you know, they chances are they will be mistreated. God knows what's going to happen to them because I'm pretty sure good leftists have been attacked or God knows what else by the majority of the bad ones. There's always bad apples, man, but the left have the most. It's horrendous. You know, it's funny because I once had I when I was at Manchester Community College, um, one of my professor, I had a professor who was a complete and blatant leftist. The dude would never shut up about voting or any kind of politics. Like the first, I think it was like the first, if I'm not mistaken, it was like the first day. I went there. It was a film, TV, movie appreciation class, and I think it was like the first day, um, my first day there, or everyone's first day there, I think. Um, he started going on and on about you know moms demand action and all that other bull crap, and tried to you know and basically completely disregarded that we have a Second Amendment, and it's not to be removed or altered or completely disregarded, you know. And I tried to tell him, I tried to tell him that, the Second Amendment is the Second Amendment. You can't just strip the rights of American citizens to feel safe. That's just not how things work. You know, it's ridiculous. And I ended up getting him at one point. Uh, when he said something about, I forgot what he said or what he was talking about, but I said something along the lines of, "Oh, like gun control," and got him. He started chuckling like this like the deranged leftist he is. I guess it was his way of saying fair point or whatever. I don't know. It was funny though. The fact that he actually chuckled, I nearly laughed. I nearly lost it because it was just that funny. But yeah, then he wanted to start talking about voting and all that stuff, and I'm like, dude, myself and the rest of the students, in fucking class, came here to learn about movie appreciation, to appreciate movies and stuff. We didn't come here to hear about leftist politics and crap. Especially didn't come here to be brainwashed by a leftist professor. It was so stupid, dude. Like, you know, that's one of the reasons why that's the main reason I didn't even bother going back to college. Nope. It's just no. Absolutely not. Because if he's a leftist, I'm pretty sure the entire damn college is left leaning. I'm not putting up with that shit. Nope. I don't appreciate having to give up being told to give up my constitutional rights over the feelings of other folks. And mind you, Moms Demand Action is filled with nothing but a bunch of fat blobs who don't even care about their children. Like, my heart does go out, my heart and prayers do go out to the families affected by, to the families who are affected by shootings, okay? Because, make no mistake, there are some truly evil people on this planet who just wake up and just decide to start doing evil things. Child predators exist, rapists exist. Same thing, but different target for the most part. You know, Murderers exist. All that stuff. However, banning guns, trying to push gun control, isn't going to solve those problems. It's not going to solve the amount of shootings that happen in the country. It's not going to make them go down. It's literally just going to increase them. Because who's doing all the shootings? The criminals. And, well, the police officers, depending on how you look at it. Depending on who you ask. And who's not doing the shootings? Law-abiding citizens. They're not the ones out there murdering people, doing horrible things involving the use of firearms while using firearms. No. You know, Evil people are doing that. People who don't abide by the laws are doing that. But instead we end up being punished and impacted by gun control legislation when we're not the ones doing anything illegal. It's gotten to the point where they're trying to make owning guns in general illegal. You know, Even going as far as to try to push regulations for friggin' printers. You can't do that. You know, I hate to sit here and rant about this stuff because I know it's not related to the video, but it's like, I feel like I have to because, you know, a lot of people have been lied to about things, and they have been manipulated and guilt tripped into supporting causes that they know nothing about, you know. And when I look at, you know, gun control advocacy groups like Moms Demand Action, I'm disappointed, you know, because those women, and I guess men as well, since there are men that are part of the group, you know, would rather demand the restrictions and eliminate the restriction, or rather at this point elimination of every American's constitutional right to keep and bear arms, than actually find solutions that do work. Mind you, the solutions that would actually work, such as armed security or armed guards, whatever, in schools. Um, what else? Because there were several solutions. Harsher penalties for crime, harsher punishments, specifically sentences for violent crime. What else? There were a few other things. Background checks, as long as they're reasonable, within reason. Um, what else? Oh, also, you know, improving mental health. Well, specifically tackling mental health issues in the country, because our country has the worst mental health right now, and has for several years now. And also, I think another thing, I think also teaching and educating people about firearms safety and firearms in general. You know, there's a there are plenty of solutions to that. Education is one of the most important things. You know, just like how we're supposed, just like how parents are supposed to educate, tell their kids about, internet safety and stuff, staying safe on the internet, not talking to strangers or doing stuff you shouldn't be doing on the internet to keep you safe and your family safe and all that. You know, education is important. One of the most important things, and that's one of the first steps. You know, gun control just doesn't work. And I'm sorry that you feel it does, but you really need to sit down and reflect on your life. You really do. You really need to rethink your whole life, because you are basically supporting the disarming of law-abiding citizens, you know, and making them easier targets for criminals, mind you. And what I also find funny is that they never said a word about you know uh the ATF being a bunch of tyrants and doing just that kind of stuff. Um the Ruby Bridge incident, the Waco siege, I still have mixed feelings about it, but I do think that generally there was a better way to handle it, because from what I understand, what happened there was just outrageous, and a bunch of other things that the ATF have done. You know, you know, the moms groups like Moms Demand Action love talking about shitting on citizens and trying to strip them of power and and our constitutional rights, but they don't say anything about the government, our government, who literally do who literally commit a lot of violent crimes themselves. Aren't They're not transparent. They basically send hits out on innocent folks for no reason, or even just for just out of sheer pettiness. And on top of it, they're one of the main reasons our country is in shambles right now. It has been for the past several years. They're also responsible for feeding misinformation. A lot of it. So, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Let's call law-abiding citizens fascists and shit on the country, because apparently, when things don't go our way, when we can't be terrorists in our own country, you know, then our country's evil, and anyone who's against terrorism is evil. Like, no, dude, no, no, no. Hassan got himself into that situation when he did what he did and said what he did. He's not innocent. And anyone who thinks he's innocent, something is seriously wrong with you. You've got some screws loose. And maybe you should be, and I honestly think you should be joining him in a jail cell or a federal prison cell because you are a danger to people, to the folks around you and our country. We don't tolerate this crap, man.
See, infamous couch puncher Mike from PA say anyone who doesn't stand with Hasan is an enemy. This is a
Like I said, what are you gonna do? Remember, only Sith deal in absolutes.
fascist regime. Either you fight them now or just capitulate.
Uh, eh, eh, uh, hmm. Do I, fight, fight them and help help free a known terrorist or domestic terrorist apologist, and racist and everything else but the kitchen sink, aka an evil piece of shit, or or let God tear him a new one. Let God give him the consequences of his actions and throw the book at him. Yeah, I think this is a tough one. Oh wait, no, it's not. Yep, no, no, no. Federal prison. Under the federal prison. No parole. Life. Nothing but misery. No. What do you think, God? Should we let this monster go free, or should we, or should he, you know, or should he be in a cell for the rest of his life? My recommendation is that he be in federal prison for the rest of his life. Because he's very deserving of it. He's very deserving.
Yeah, I wonder if you would feel the same way if it was someone you didn't like who was in Hasan's situation. I have a strong feeling this guy would not have the same energy, and also
If Charlie Kirk if Charlie Kirk did what Hasan did, he'd be in federal prison for the rest of his life in no time. In a short time period, he'd be in federal prison for the rest of his life. No parole, just straight up cold, hard, cold, hard, uh, not captivity, but you get what I'm saying. You know, but it's really, but somehow it's bad when an evil piece of shit, you know, is being apprehended and well is actually being given the consequences of his actions. Why?
this is just obligatory at this point. Gotta play this Mike from PA clip.
That's fine. I think that's fine. So if a guy pays for my tab, I think they.
Oh yeah, that guy. He looks like. Nah, I'm not gonna do that to one of my. I'm not gonna do that to one of my teachers from Bentley. Nah, he's too nice. My teacher is too nice for that. He, Mr. Mazzotta is way too nice for that. Nope. Nah, I can't disrespect him like that because he don't even deserve it. No. Why do he look like Jared though? He kind of looks like Jared from Subway.
I feel like I touched a vampire touching holy water.
can I help you?
Either you stand with Hasan or you're the enemy of Mike from PA. Shiver
I would love to be an enemy.
me timbers, ladies and gentlemen. Then you have people saying stuff like this. They just created a million Hasan Pikers.
Yup. Well, a million, not really enough. Well, it's kind of enough for I think 500,000, maybe 250,000 is already enough. Is already trouble, but we'll deal with it as we go.
And here's one of the top responses. In fact, if you look at the quotes,
The roaches, I love it.
it seems like the.
Oh
It seems
no! I didn't even know Hassan got pregnant. Jeez, congratulations, man. Congratulations. You got a lot of about a million roaches. A million Hasan Juniors.
Seems like people have really
Yeah, that is funny, man.
made up their minds about how they feel about Hasan getting subpoenas from the federal government. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to laugh too much, but it's just absurd everything that's happening here, and it's just been a long time coming. And then
Blue Sky is already losing it over Hasan being subpoenaed, cursing everyone from Trump to Asmongold. They vow this will create a million Hasan Pikers. Oh, it will, huh? Well, we know how to deal with them, don't we? Anybody that wants to advocate for that terrorist can join him. Okay? You can join him. All right? Like seriously, we don't care. We're not afraid of you folks. We're not afraid of you folks. The smoke is free. God, you folks act like you guys are tough or something.
Then we have this situation right here where apparently Blue Sky is losing it over the
Good.
subpoena of Hasan Piker. And now they're crashing out over not just Trump, but also Asmongold as well. We see the same sentiment about creating
I want to buy Asmongold a friggin' beer for this. And he's not even responsible for this. I want to buy him a beer for this shit.
a million Hasan Pikers. And of course, you can see.
Well, we'll step on them like the roaches they are then. What are they going to do about it? Bite us?
Down here, Hasan Piker is a good egg. Medea Benjamin.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Stop lying. He's not a good egg. He's a rotten apple. That will poison you. He is a rotten apple.
Is an amazing lady.
No, she's not.
F the U.S. government.
You know what? I agree. Something we agree on. I don't like my government. I don't like my government either. Screw our government.
F you, Trump, you piece of crap.
You know what? I don't really like Trump either. But I'm not a big hater, though, so, if anything, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
F liberalism. F
Liberalism? Oh, that's right, because there's, like, leftists and liberals. Oh, jeez. This is definitely going to create a war between the liberals and the leftists. I mean, generally, they're on almost the same side. Not most of them, I think. But, like, yeah. This is definitely going to create a little mini war between the two. That will be fine.
F conservatives.
What did conservatives do? Mind you, I'm a centrist who I'm a centrist who, you know what? You know what? I might as well. I'm a conservative too now. You know what? Whatever. I'm a conservative too, because why not? But geez, what did we do? I'm still confused. What did we do that was so bad? We just exist? We just exist? We just exist. Is it because we just exist? Shoot, shoot. I mean, you paying you buying you buying? Shoot, I mean, I don't got any condoms. You buying? I mean, what did we do? We just exist, man. I guess we just exist. Everybody, all the conservatives, y'all better start pulling the condoms out, cause hey, they want to fuck us. So hey, bring it on. Bring it on. I guess. You know. You know. You know what? Scratch that. I'm probably gonna get. I know I'm gonna get clipped for this, but you know what? At this point, whatever, man. I'm surprised they don't say the same thing about all the leftists who apparently put no effort into preventing this. Because they will eat each other alive.
F third way, socialism will win in the end Because socialism is the will of the people.
No, it's not. No, no, not in this country. Not in the United States of friggin' America, it's not. We're red, white, and blue here. We're red, white, and blue here. We are not socialist. No. Just no, bro. Socialism is not welcome in our country. Not welcome in my country. No. Take your socialism and get out if you don't like it. My thing is, if y'all hate the country so badly, why is y'all still here? Why is y'all still here if y'all hate the country that much? Get the heck out. We don't want you here if you're going to hate on our country. We don't want you here. What you doing here then? You shouldn't be here if you hate our country. What, you think you're in an abusive relationship or something? Get the heck out. Get out. We don't want you here. We got enough problems to deal with. Like, seriously, have you seen the gas prices? We got enough shit to deal with. Can't even have good games no more. Get the heck out if you don't like it. If you don't like the country. Get out. That's the best part. You can hate us. You can hate us and not get stoned to death for it. You don't have to worry about getting executed or beaten to death for it unless you know unless you're not a leftist, then of course you're definitely going to get punished horribly for it because leftists like to harm innocent folks or anyone, like they like to harm people that are that they feel are against them. And it's fact. It is a fact. It's a known fact. It's been like that for a few years now. I don't know what happened in the last few years, but something crazy is going on. It's like we're in the Blade universe, where there's an uprising within vampire nation, whatever. But I mean, who bringing condoms? Cause we not getting any. We not getting any. We ain't got none. Like, wow. Every single day, somebody always hates us out there. And now we gotta deal with this in our own country. Good lord. Jeez. Though, to be fair, Australians have to worry about everything in their country trying to kill them. So we're not exactly up there yet, but still. If you don't like it, fucking leave. We don't want you here. We don't want you here. We were nice enough to let you be here, but we don't want you here if this is how you feel. And this is how you're gonna behave. We don't want you here. Like, seriously. Who asked you to come in here? Who asked you to come in here? Nobody asked you to come in here. You could definitely come in here the legal route. We don't care. As long as you're not coming in here illegally. But if this is how you're going to treat us, our country, then you can get out. Yeah, we hate our government too. We don't like our government either. But you folks are not going to sit up here and fucking try to change our way of life because y'all think, y'all superior. Like, no, it don't work like that. Get out. If you don't like it, leave. Okay? I mean it, leave if you don't like it. Because, like, no, you don't get to hate a country and then stay in it, and try to sabotage it. No. If it was any other country, y'all be doomed. Okay? Y'all can go right to Iran. And mind you, you even think about hating on the country, saying anything against the country, y'all are screwed. Like, really? The only reason y'all still here is because y'all know y'all not gonna really see any consequences for being anti-America, which is a good thing. But still, because y'all got freedom here, but y'all wearing y'all welcome out. Get out if you don't like it. I said it a million times already, but get out. Seriously, get the heck out if you don't like it here. No one's gonna we might miss you, but like seriously, get out. Get the heck out of here. Go to Mexico or something if it makes you feel better. Go. Get out, pack your shit, leave. Pack your shit and get the hell out. Get your shit and get the hell out of here.
Except for the people who don't want it, right? And then this person says Hasan Bad isn't going to stop Asmongold offing himself.
Oh really? I don't think Asmongold is in crisis at all. No. You think he's gonna kill himself? What? Why would he do that? And YouTube, don't even think about it, because this is a serious thing. This is a serious thing. And you know what? Just to add, you know, if you if you are having thoughts of suicide, if you feel like if you feel hopeless and feel like taking your own life is the only way to ease your pain or whatever, please don't, because there is someone out there who cares about you. In fact, God cares about you. He loves you. Jesus loves you. Heck, we love you. I love you. I mean, unless you are unless you are unless you committed a sex crime, then you can forget about what I'm saying. Yep, I'm very selective. I'm selective when it comes to that. Crap. Okay, okay, God, okay, okay. Maybe that was a bit much, but come on, they deserve it. Um. Anyway, um, if you are in crisis, if you're thinking about taking your own life, please reach out to the suicide hotline. Please reach out to them. Okay? Please reach out to the suicide hotline. I'll leave it in the description. The number in the description. Talk to somebody, please, because there's someone that cares about you. There are plenty of people that probably care about you. Well, that definitely care about you. You are loved. You are wanted. Do not ever think for a second that you are unwanted and unloved. Okay? It's unfortunate that I have to even bring this up, because there are people out there who take their own lives, good people, while the terrible people get to sit on the planet and complain and all that crap and cause trouble. There are good people that take their lives. And that it's horrible. It's very horrible. It's a very, very demoralizing and heartbreaking thing. But someone cares about you. Someone out there loves you. The Lord Himself loves you. His Son loves you. You are loved. Please do not take your own life. Please. There is another way. There is another way. You do not have to take your life. There is another way. Talk to someone, please. Please. Don't do it. Don't take your own life. It is not worth it. It is not worth it. It's not as much of a pain relief as you want to believe it is. It is not worth it. Please talk to somebody. Watch a YouTube video. Watch stuff that you love. Talk to somebody. Do the things that you love doing. Don't take your own life. It's not worth it. You are loved. You are wanted. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Unless you're a sex criminal. I think I should edit that out. You know what? Nah, I'll leave it in. But yeah, seriously, you are wanted. You are loved. There is another way. You do not have to take your own life. There is another way. You don't have to do that. It's not necessary. Please. We need you here. We need you on the planet. Please. Don't take your own life. Your life is worth something. It's worth saving. You are worth saving.
You see Hasan Piker get issued a federal subpoena, and you think about Asmongold?
You know what? They hate Asmongold because he's pretty much right most all the time. Like, they just, I never understand the hate against Asmongold. Like, people just be hating to hate him, dude. I'm sorry, but the dude did nothing wrong to deserve any hate. Just because someone is speaking the truth doesn't mean you should hate them. It actually says a lot more about you than it does about the person you hate. Like, seriously, you know, it's so pathetic how people just hate the guy because he's right. It's so funny. Like, yeah, these people are losing it. Like, just blue sky, man. Yeah, this is why I don't use blue sky. I still have a blue sky account, but I haven't used it in years because of this. I'm more comfortable with people losing it on Twitter than blue sky. I'm not scared or anything. It's just blue sky is like a friggin' war zone. It's everyone for themselves. It is kind of entertaining to watch leftists on blue sky like have meltdowns, but still, it's not as funny as Twitter is, where you see a hilarious Twitter post, just like hilarious Facebook posts. It's just so funny, man. Just so out of the blue.
That's interesting. Very interesting. But anyways, you can see how mad they are, and well, good.
I see.
And I
Good,
like this
very
quote in
good.
particular, saying,
I know we obviously hate on him a lot, and I hate that he was against Kamala in the 2024 election, but I think it's really important to take moments like these to put differences aside against the greater evil. Wow. Wow. I'm not sure if he's a leftist, but dang, we agree on something. I like to see this kind of stuff, you know? People shouldn't be trying to kill each other over a disagreement, you know? We have enough of that crap. That's what usually starts wars, you know? You just love to see this stuff because people are actually coming to an agreement. The right and left actually agree on something, or people on the right and left actually agree with something. They actually agree about something. You just love to see it, man. I like seeing this stuff. I want to see more of this stuff. We shouldn't have to. We don't have to hate each other. We can respectfully agree to disagree and move on. And we can also hound and hold people who are actually terrible accountable.
I know we obviously hate on him a lot, and I hate that he was against Kamala in the 2024 election, but I think it's really important to take moments like these.
I didn't really like Kamala either. Kamala was just an idiot, an anti-gun moron, a friggin' liar. She wasn't even pro-choice, man. She was straight up pro-abortion. There is a clear difference. Ugh, no. Should not be the one and only option for every pregnancy. No, no. That's where I consider it murder. Cause like no, you were just doing it just to do it, just for convenience. No.
To put differences aside against the greater evil.
I mean, why haven't we been doing this before? I mean, what happened the past several years? What happened? Like, are we now suddenly just starting to put differences aside? Like, what happened? I mean, we should have been doing this more often. I mean, there were several people that, that debated with Charlie Kirk, and they did the exact same thing. Put differences aside, their biases aside, whatever, had a rational discussion. And he was murdered for it, too. Like, yikes. But we know why he was really murdered. He was murdered by the government because a lot of the things he said actually made sense. Look, I said this in a previous video that I haven't uploaded yet, but probably will. I'll update it. I'll put a little update in the description when I do, or maybe in the comments when I do upload it, when I get around to it. But I disagree with his takes on abortion, and some other things. But like the rest of his takes, I do agree with. You know, and I don't understand why he was just. I don't know why what the whole. I don't know why he was murdered. Well, I have an idea why. I think a lot of us have an idea why. And I liked that, System of a Down had commented and said had made a comment about. I guess it was really about. I guess it was about. If I'm not mistaken, it was about the murder of Charlie Kirk at some point. They made a comment on basically saying that saying something along the lines of political violence is bad. You know, and they got bullied for it. Like, jeez, you just know who is bullying them. The exact kind of folks that would murder innocent people if they could get away with it over a disagreement. The kind of people the kind of people that should either be in an insane asylum or in prison. But yeah, stuff more. This should be happening more often. Like, this should be happening more often. You know, we shouldn't be allowing ourselves to be divided by our own government or any foreign influence. We shouldn't be allowing ourselves to be divided. We should be putting our heads together, coming together and having rational, civilized, you know, discussions and conversations about things. Respectfully agreeing to disagree. It shouldn't devolve into a bunch of uncivilized behavior, name calling, and all that kind of stuff, especially death threats.
Good job, Trump. Had me in the first half, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, Hasan is
Wait, what? Yeah.
already started his many responses, even starting to hint on some
Hasan on if there will be any Zarin magic to help him out. I don't think Zarin Madami is going to be doing that anytime soon because I'm not a concerning incident that took place in the North New York City region of America. Highly doubt it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. I don't know. Dude, if you think he cares about you've already lost the plot. You have missed the point. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. My thing is, why are we allowing foreign people in our government? Why are we doing that exactly? I don't understand why. Like, that's a bad thing to do. That is a really bad thing to do. I mean, especially what the jerk is, with what the tyrant is doing in New York. I mean, the New York State Attorney General is also a piece of shit. But hey,
Zoram Mamdani magic here, yes. Trying to invoke the socialist mayor of New York City who publicly disavowed Hasan not that long ago. But let's hear what he has to say.
oh, that's right, he did. It's like at this point, Madami, Madani, whatever, however his last name is said. Publicly disavowing Hasan is like Brian criticizing Quagmire uh or calling out Quagmire for the shit that he does. Hypocrite, really big hypocrite. But then again, Quagmire's an even larger hypocrite because of the shit he actually does. So it's really just two hypocrites going toe to toe with each other, having a curb stomp battle.
Activists, dissidents alike. It's a way to try to have a chilling effect on speech.
No, what? Activism is supposed to be like, advocating for something. Speaking out about things. Seriously, dude. What you folks do is not nowhere near activism. It's straight up terrorism, tyranny, and Um, and what else? What else? And dictatorship.
And some people, it seems, some likely and some unlikely people, have been cheering it on.
Oh, I wonder who those people are. People with some goddamn sense.
Hasan realizing in real time here just how disliked he is. I mean, it's people across the board. And is that really surprising to anyone? Because he's managed to make all aisles mad at him. He craps on conservatives. He craps on liberals.
I'm not exactly surprised. He hates anybody that's not the same as him. He wants people to be a one-to-one clone of him, which he knows is impossible.
He just gets angry at everyone.
Yep.
And in
And then he claims he's not racist or anything like that. Yeah. He's the biggest hypocrite in he's the biggest hypocrite of the century.
response, people don't have much sympathy for him. And this isn't like, oh, this poor innocent guy Hasan and people are just cheering this on because he is who he is and he actually didn't do anything wrong. He's been pushing the envelope for years and years and years. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Everyone was looking at this trip to Cuba and pointing out the very concerning behavior where he might have been potentially violating sanctions against the Cuban regime. But no, he's just so brazen and he feels so protected and immune to consequence. He's just continued on and on.
We'll be talking about that in a second as well. You might need Zoran Magic for this one. Yeah, okay, dude. Yeah. I don't think Zoran Momdani is going to be doing that
No.
anytime soon because I'm not a concerning incident that took place in the New York City region of America. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you take credit for getting this guy elected, and look what happened to that. He just threw you to the side because you're not really convenient for him anymore, which is very, very funny. But yeah, at the same time,
It really reminds me. It reminds me of how, like, in a lot of Star Wars and a lot of actually good Star Wars shows and movies, you know, um, the Empire, the Imperials will literally throw each other under the bus when they do something when they fail. When they fail, they will do that all the time.
I don't think Zoram is going to help out Hasan. In fact, I think he wants absolutely nothing to do with you whatsoever. Any halfway intelligent political figure would not want anything to do with a guy who's getting federal subpoenas for some very serious stuff. But anyways,
I mean, Madani is already in hot water. Is already in hot water. You know, he's gonna, he's going to, if he even tries to help Hassan, he's going to end up, he's going to end up probably being investigated, you know, along with him.
ladies and gentlemen, that is the situation. There's obviously a lot more that's going to be coming out of this, but we'll just
Missing a soap bar there.
have to wait
Don't drop the soap, Hassan. Don't drop it.
and see. I'm sure this is just the beginning, but for now, that's going to do for this video. If you guys enjoyed, consider liking the video, consider subscribing, and turning on notifications for daily uploads on this channel, as well as multiple streams a week here on YouTube. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Well, you heard the man. Subscribe to his channel, like the video, friggin' comment, the whole 9 yards. Well, that's it for the video. That's it. Goated 14 minutes and 20 seconds. Though though this video is definitely probably around 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 times longer than that. Maybe that's a little too long. But hey, you heard what he said. If you liked the video, if you liked my reaction, you can comment, leave a like, and subscribe. Alright, guys. Typical Real Fanner out.